Alright, today's discussion, we just talked about this guy on this latest episode. He's currently the 4th member of Villain Enterprises, known as the Mercenary, Flip Gordon. So, let's get started with this discussion. Alright. What was your initial thoughts about Flip when you first saw it?
My first thought when I saw it, I was excited. I like that. I like the whole thing with like Flip and Marty, especially like during last year. Was it the New Japan's Best of Super Juniors tour? Yeah. Marty and Flip take Japan.
I mean, when I first saw Flip was on Being the Elite, which, if you guys don't know that show kind of helped them to be more recognizable.
Who the fuck is Flip Gordon?
Yeah. So that's the thing that people don't know. It's like the Bucks are very generous people, good-hearted people outside the ring. I mean, I know if you saw what the Bucks did with Brandon Cutler, you can see that with Flip. You know, Flip kind of explained how he got involved. Basically, he was in Mexico celebrating the fact he got signed to ROH, and the Bucks approached him, saying, "Hey, you want to be in the video?" And of course, he said yes. But who would have thought that he would make multiple appearances on Being the Elite? And of course, we'll never forget what it's like. Where do you think you're going? I mean, it was a funny segment during that time in Being the Elite. And then later they decided to stop that whole thing where you see Matt shaking his hand. He's like, "Where do you think you're going?" And he's like, "I just want to go." And then it's like, "Flip, why didn't you just tell me? Why? I'm a person." And he's like hugging him, like, "Hug me, damn it." I mean, that was like the best thing to watch. It feels like we were watching a soap opera. Yeah. You know. But it was becoming great to see Flip like being part of the cast. And it helped them to be recognizable. But Flip did say on many interviews that many fans, when he goes out do meet and greets or do autographs, they do that same thing when he shakes their hands like, "Where do you think you're going?" They do that all the time. And he was well recognized for that.
My favorite moment was when I think it was Matt that was like, "Hey, you're a member of the Elite now," and he was like, "I don't want to be a member of the Elite. I want to be a member of the Bullet Club."
Yeah, I mean, it was so funny with the whole thing with that. I mean, I know that he had a great year last year.
Yes.
You know, being part of the Best of the Super Juniors, his rivalry in ROH against Bully Ray.
Oh, yeah.
You know, I mean, that was a great story. I mean, if you guys don't know what the story is with that, and those who do, there was a rivalry between Bully Ray and Flip, where Bully Ray cannot stand a new generation of wrestlers taking his thunder. And they were fighting back and forth. And I try to remember which pay-per-view, their last confrontation, it was an I Quit match. Basically, you see Bully Ray try to force Flip to make him quit, and everybody in the back are worried. Right in the front seat, his girlfriend was right there, watching. You know, and out of nowhere, here comes Sandman to help Flip Gordon. And of course, he whacked him twice with the kendo sticks, and he forced Bully to say, "I quit." You know, and it was a great rivalry with that story with him. You know, and I enjoy that. And of course, who can forget his all-in moment?
Oh yeah, it tied it all together. It tied that all together with the whole him being booked, and with Bully Ray's storyline winning the 30-man over budget battle royal.
The story with that, if you guys haven't seen it, during the Being the Elite, when they were making the announcements of All In, Flip was the only one who hasn't been booked.
Right.
And he's been trying. Now, he got the approval of two out of the three masterminds of All In, and that was the Bucks. Cody, not so much, but he became friends with Brandy. You know, if you follow the story closely. And then later, somewhere down the line, when he was unable to get in, like on certain chances, the pro wrestling teams decided to throw in the all-out party for him in the parking lot. Basically, it was his personal party since he was not booked. And of course, Cody put on Twitter, "How come I wasn't invited?" And someone's maybe because you didn't book him. I mean, people were having fun with this, with the idea of Flip having his own party. And then we did see him at the Battle Royale, the over-budget Battle Royale. He was dressed up as Chico. If you haven't seen the videos, there's scenes where Chico's friends with the Bucks and Cody. And Bucks had to bribe Chico because they know Chico will take the money, but only if it's a situation that fits him, you know. And then he of course he told Cody that he has family members, like a couple hundred. Mm-hmm. And of course he was dressed up as Chico. And then somewhere down the line, when Bully thought he won the over budget, here comes Chico. He gives him a super kick, and it turned out to be Flip. You know, and it was a great moment for Flip, especially when he was in that match at All In, where he had to face Jay Lethal for the title.
No, not Jay Lethal, but Black Machismo.
Yeah. I mean, it was a good match, but I'll never forget where after Black Machismo gave him the elbows, you see a Hulk Hogan moment where Flip's like, "No!" And then, of course, we see the infamous, "You!" And, of course, the bam, bam, and the big boot.
Let's not forget Black Machismo carrying Brandy like Elizabeth. Miss Elizabeth.
I mean, that was a great match. I mean, I have to say it was a great match to watch. I mean, yes. I think this was one of the greatest moments for Flip.
Get up! Get up, man!
I mean, like I said, Flip had an amazing year last year. And this year he had to, let's say there's certain moments he was not happy. If you all been hearing, he was unable to go to the best of the Super Juniors this year. Reason behind that was he had visa issues. And it bummed him out because, of course, this could have been his second year participating in this event with New Japan. Mm-hmm. And I forgot who New Japan picked for his replacement. Because I know they could have had wrestlers standing by in case of any of the participants.
Gresham?
Possibly, yeah. But yeah, so it was a sad moment. But before that, somewhere that he was injured. Mm-hmm. And of course, people were a little concerned that he wasn't going to make it for the G1 Supercard, which is the collaboration between both New Japan and Ring of Honor. And of course, he made it through. You know, I mean, he looks more like he was getting back on track with his career. But we still had no clue what direction he was going to go with. Until we saw at Best in the World this past weekend where he joined the Villain Enterprises, which was one of the biggest shockers of my life. I'll never forget my own reaction when that happened. I mean, we did have discussion on the episode where it's a good thing that we're seeing Flip from going from face to heel. And of course I did say their fans are like saying it's about time that he turned to a heel. Mm-hmm. But we did say it does make perfect sense because who could forget it's Marty Flip Take Japan. and I said this before, now it's Marty Flip Take ROH together. Which is kind of like fitting into the story between those two because of the relationship they had in being the Elite. And I think I didn't say this on the episode. I saw this on Flip's Instagram page. Someone posted this. What happened to your dream of joining Bullet Club? And he replied, money talks. I mean, that was a good one right there.
There you go.
I mean, I did love that comment that he said. And, of course, now there's new Villain Enterprises shirts of him wearing that gas mask type. Because I kind of told him, could he just use the mask from this video game from PS3? I don't know if you ever heard of it, or you guys, Army of Two. Because those guys are private contractors.
Yeah.
They're like mercenaries. They use those type of masks, and I feel like he could have used that type. It fits perfectly. You know, but I don't know if he saw that comment or not. But hopefully he'll see it. You know.
There you go.
Because I feel the gas mask doesn't look like a mercenary type. You know, but like I said, playing those games, because I played all 3 games of Army of Two.
Okay.
And those masks are cool. You know, and I feel like Flip could have used one of those. Have the Villain Enterprise logo right there. You know, but I'm not sure what the gas mask is the right fit for his gimmick, but we'll see how that goes. You know, like, I'm sure he's trying something different, you know?
Right.
But I'm looking forward to see Flip with Villain Enterprise. How about you?
I like it. I mean, it's like he's like it's like being at home, coming back to home, like just with the group.
Yeah.
I can see like you said earlier, I can see potential of all of them getting the gold all in one stable.
Yeah, because like we said, like in our previous episode, where currently Villain Enterprise had won many accomplishments. The Brody and PSO were the Crockett Cup winners.
PCO.
Oh yeah, PCO were the Crockett Cup winners. They're currently the 6-man tag team champions in ROH. And here's the interesting part. Brody and Marty were the World Series Wrestling Tag Team champions, but they lost those titles to Flip and Brian Cage of Impact Wrestling. I mean, I don't know if that counts part of the Villain Enterprise, because Flip is now one half of that team, because he's good friends with Brian Cage in real life, and they call themselves the Flippin' Machines because they both work out together, you know. And I've seen that on Instagram a bunch of times, but I don't know if does that count with the accomplishments with Villain Enterprises.
It predates,
because I know that ROH and Impact participates on a tour in Australia called the World Series Wrestling every year. Or I don't know how many times a year they do that. But I would like to see, you know, how this is going to play out, since now Flip is with Villain Enterprises.
Right.
I mean, does that make Brian Cage a partial member? Or just an affiliated member?
Be an affiliate, you know. Private contractors do tend to work with other companies.
Yeah, and not to mention, Brian Cage, he's currently the Impact Wrestling World Champion in his brand. But I don't know what his contract status with Impact Wrestling is right now. But I would like to see if Villain Enterprise have the courage to go out and expand. You know, like try to do what Bullet Club did. You know, when they spread the Bullet Club name from Japan to the U.S.
Marty and Flip, potential IWGP Junior Heavyweight Champions?
Wait a minute. I don't know. When does that take place?
Right before World Tag Series.
Yeah, but what month?
It's fairly a new tour.
Okay, because here's the thing. We did talk about this before. We don't know that the contract with Marty expires by the end of September. Would that coincides to it? You know, I mean, it's still unclear about Marty, since we talked about his contract status, that either there's, like, I know WWE has their sights on him, AEW has their sights on him, fans want to see him with AEW, and it's still unclear whether if ROH wants to keep him, because, like we talked about the Bucks, they never took them for value. I mean, can they take Marty for value or not? You know, that's the scenario, because...
Or he could swerve us all and go to WWE, NXT.
And makes Flip the leader of Villain Enterprises.
Yeah.
I mean, we have seen, like, certain mercenaries, they take over organizations, either in movies, TV shows, or video games.
In real life.
in real life. That's how it always works out with it. You know, because I know we've been talked about this, and many fans out there have talked about this, those who follow Marty, that there's there is talk that he may want that he may go with AEW because he wants to reunite with the Elite, and or we did saw that whole thing with him with Paul Heyman. Mm-hmm. But we do know the other factor of that. His girlfriend is in NXT. Mm-hmm. But also, like I said, we don't know if RH wants to keep him. But we don't know yet, because I know many fans would like to see more of Flip and Marty together. Oh, yeah. I mean, easily. Who could forget, like I said, we've seen many segments on Being the Elite with those two. You know, Marty, Flip take Japan. I remember when Flip was booked for the first time to go to Australia for the World Series Wrestling. It was on a promo that he posted on Instagram. He comes out, tells Marty, he's like, "Hey, Marty." It's like, "For God's sakes, Flip, I'm doing a promo." It's like, "What? Didn't you hear the news?" "What news?" "I'm booked." "It's Marty Flip take Australia?" "Oh, you gotta be flipping kidding me."
Yes.
I mean, it did fit perfectly with those two, but you look at Marty as the guy's like, portray the villain as always. And now, and then first we see Flip as the face, but now he's becoming the villain in the story. I mean, I think many fans will love to see more of those two together. You know, because we have seen many wrestlers who work together, even when they start out as single competitors.
That's right.
But having Flip and Marty is a good combination. You know, because, I mean, if you were running a promotion, you see something like this, you know you want to keep them together.
Oh, yeah.
You know. I mean, but, like I said, we'll keep more updates on that status when Marty, how's it going to go. And, of course, we're going to follow more on Flip, on his career, because right now, if you heard that he got injured when he did the heel turn on the Best in the World, he did a 450 splash on Tracy Williams. And then he kind of made a bad landing and kind of injured his elbow. And it was popped out, and they popped it back in. But he said he was fine. We don't know yet on, how to say, if it's good or not. If I was Flip, I would try to check it out just in case.
Right.
Because you don't want to be out of action for who knows how long.
Yeah, that's to be put back on the shelf.
Yeah, because, like I said, I mean, he had an amazing year last year. And I hate to see his career go down this year.
Right.
You know, with now him being a member of Villain Enterprises. So, hopefully, everything turns out great for him. So, that's it for Flip Gordon. We'll see you guys the next time on the next discussion.